I absolutely love cooking. I love the whole process of it. I love going to a farm to visit chickens that might become our dinner. I love picking up our CSA box full of beautiful vegetable from Simon and Ronan's farm. I love searching through an ethnic grocery store in South Minneapolis looking for just the right strange ingredient to make some recipe that I found from around the world. I love wandering the aisles at Lunds and Byerly's just to see what new products there are. I even like shopping at Aldi. I love it when you come home and you're chopping all the vegetables and the meats to prepare whatever food is coming, the smell of the garlic and the onion sauteing in the pan. The whole process of making a meal is something that I thoroughly enjoy. And I'm actually pretty good at it. But do you know what's something I can't do? I cannot bake. I am a terrible baker. My husband, however, is a fantastic baker, and he makes the most delicious sourdough bread. In fact, many mornings I wake up to the smell of bread baking in our oven, and I'm so grateful because no matter how many recipes I've tried from all around the world, probably one of my favorite foods that I could ever eat is a slice of sourdough bread made by my husband and slathered up with a nice slather of butter. It's really the best. Today is the second Sunday of Advent. Today we're talking about love. There is so much to love about Christmas time. Traditions and fun things that we do together. In fact, the Runyon family spends every Christmas Eve right here on the floor underneath the Christmas tree having a slumber party together. One of the other things that we love to do is read a book that I love every Christmas. I got it 15 years ago from a friend of mine. It's called Three Wise Women by Mary Hoffman. And I have some great friends who are going to help me read it today. In the west, the sky was bright with stars as a young woman stayed up late, baking bread. As she waited for the dough to rise, she went to the door and combed her hair, singing a song about the moonlight. Suddenly she stopped. Far away in the east, there was a new star, brighter than all the rest. It was so bright that it bathed the woman's kitchen in starshine. The beams from the star shone right onto the dough. The woman stared in disbelief. The dough was rising as if filled with starlight. She was afraid to touch it at first, but it was quite firm and ready to be baked, so she cooked it in the oven. As soon as it is ready, she said to herself, I shall take the star bread and travel east. I must find where this great light is coming from.
Way down in the south, where countries are hotter, another woman sat up late at night rocking her child. He was cutting a tooth and could not sleep. His mother hummed to him and loved him with words that no one else could understand. Shall Mama get you the moon, sweet baby? She crooned, taking her child out into the night to find a breeze. I could cut you a slice like a piece of mango to cool your poor mouth. The young child stretched his fat little arms up to the moon, and his mother laughed. Then they saw a strange sight, a bright new star rising in the northeast. Starlight shone on the child's face, making him smile. His mother watched in silence, her heart filled with desire to leave her village and follow the bright star.
Far away in the southeast, an old woman was telling stories to her grandchildren by the dying light of a cooking fire. Their mother sat resting for the first time that day, while the old woman spoke of tigers and monkeys and temples and snakes and lotus flowers. But gradually the story began to change, and suddenly there was a star in it, just like that star up there in the northwest, said the old woman.
Then what happened, Grandma? The children prompted her, for she had stopped in mid-story and was gazing at the star till it filled her mind. And all the children hushed and gazed with her, forgetting the story they had been listening to and wanting a new one, full of silver starlight. What was it about that star? There was something different about it that drew all three women from their homelands, and something the same that said to each of them, "Follow me."
They met on a path of starlight, not knowing how long or far they had traveled. They were not hungry or thirsty or tired, so each supposed her journey had been short. They found themselves on a dusty road at midnight, where the sky was a deep dark blue and the moon a fingernail of mother of pearl.
Each woman looked toward her own bright star that seemed to stand over a huddle of houses. "The end of our journey," said the grandmother. "Let me carry your baby for a while," said the young woman to the mother. And they all walked together through the hills, past sleeping shepherds, down to the town.
The star stayed where it was, growing ever brighter and brighter. It threw down great white spears of starlight onto a small white building with a thatched roof. The young woman started when she saw people coming out of the building and gave the baby back to his mother. They all watched as men in fine robes and their servants mounted on camels and rode away. "Others have followed the star before us," said the mother. Suddenly, all three women were afraid. "We have come so far," said the young woman. "We must go inside."
They ducked their heads under the low door beam and looked in. It was just a stable with horses and donkeys, but it was also a home for a new family, a man and a woman and a newborn child, all bathed in starlight, so that the golden straw was silver. And yet there was gold, a whole heap of it by the baby's makeshift crib, and other rich presents too, but nothing was as rich or as bright as the glow surrounding the baby. "Come in," said the new mother, and the women entered quietly. Their hearts were full. They too wanted to give presents. They told the baby's mother how they had left their homes, drawn by the star, with no more than the bundles they carried. They had traveled by star path and moonlight, hardly knowing how they got there.
The young woman took the loaf of star bread from her bundle. It was still warm and smelled fresh. She gave it to the baby's mother, and although he was too young to eat, he touched it as if to bless it.
The grandmother said, "I have nothing in my bundle to give the child, but I would like to tell him a story." Then the three women sat in the straw with the new family, and the grandmother told a story full of starlight and hope. All this time, the mother from the south held her sleeping baby, and her heart was pounding, for he was all she had to give. Although she was filled with a strange new love for the baby in the crib, her own child was so dear to her as life itself.
When the story ended, her child awoke. Right away, he saw the baby and held out his arms to him. The two mothers held their sons, and the child gave the baby a kiss full of starlight. His mother sighed and held her child tight. There had been a present after all.
The three wise women left the stable and walked the paths the star had made to lead them home. When they got back to their villages, no one noticed that they had been away, and no one remembered the star. But the star baby in the stable never forgot the woman and their three presents. When he grew up, he showed that fresh baked loaves taste even better when they are shared. He told the most wonderful stories to anyone who would listen. And the man whose birth had been marked by the new star taught the whole world that the greatest gift of all is love.
The greatest gift of all is love. How will you show love this Christmas? I hope your family can spend some time today thinking about that, talking about what it is that you have to share with the world. Maybe you'll make bread like Matt does. And remember that fresh baked bread tastes best when shared. I'd like to share something with you. I like to share my love of cooking. In fact, you'll find in your activity pack a ticket for Pastor Amy's cooking, and I mean it. I want you to call me or email me or text me and ask me to try making you anything your heart's desire. It could be the most random recipe that you've always wanted to try from somewhere around the world, or it could be your favorite comfort food. Whatever it is, I hope that you give me the chance of sharing my love for you, CKV, and family and friends by letting me know what I can cook for you this winter. Merry Christmas.